The grieving process is unique and subjective. In fact, the symptomatic emotional presentation of grief is as unique as your fingerprints. Each individual experiences a totally unique and subjective reality when moving through the grieving process. For the third dimensional thinker, the loss of a loved one sends the individual into a state of shock and disbelief, especially if the loved one was young or if the passing was sudden and unexpected. This separation is felt acutely, and the finality of the situation is profound. When an individual is not aware of other dimensional states, they are in a state of unknowing regarding the continuation of consciousness beyond the parameters of the physical body. This is, for a great many third-dimensional thinking humans, the most difficult challenge that life presents. However, with every challenge is the opportunity for growth, learning, and expansion. The loss of a loved one shifts the grieving individual instantly into the fourth dimension, regardless of energy patterns, belief systems, gender, or chronological age. This tests, if you will, the ability of the individual to be open to the shifts and changes within your universe, and brings their awareness into a new, higher perspective. For the fourth dimensional thinker, faith, hope, spirit connection, and alignment to one's blueprint makes the grieving process easier to bear. Yet with these individuals there is a dual perspective, if you will, and the third dimensional emotional experience, subjective and unique though it is still that of loss, shock, disbelief, grief, and sadness. For the fifth dimensional thinker, the knowing and embracing of oneness and unity consciousness allows for an understanding of the process. Assistance is often offered from the grieving fifth dimensional individual to the loved one who is making the transition. Yet, even though unity consciousness is embraced and experienced, and full knowing of the continuation of life is firmly entrenched within the individual's paradigm, the dual perspective is still acutely experienced. There are those individuals who move into full transcendence and choose to bury, ignore, move away from, move above, or put aside the third dimensional experience. For the fully grounded, anchored fifth dimensional thinker, embracing balance within a third, fourth, and fifth dimensional merge, the dual perspective is the experience within the reality of that individual. The higher perspective of unity consciousness and connection with Source, and individualized non-physical spirit presentations is felt, embraced, and understood. However, the actual physical separation and the finality of the physical one-on-one connection is still felt. The balanced and grounded fifth dimensional thinker still experiences shock, loss, sadness, and grief. The profound awareness of the dual perspective of the higher dimensions and the physical separation and loss is felt simultaneously. At first, usually switching between perspectives in a linear sense, and then moving into a simultaneous awareness. Even whilst the fourth dimensional non-physical aspect of the loved one is felt, communicated with, and indeed seen, the emotions of loss and grief are still felt due to the linear experience embraced within the balanced aware one. The dual perspective carries one through this process, and the grieving process moves through different stages from that of the third dimensional thinker. The grieving process is moved through faster and is integrated quicker. The knowing that one shall see their loved one again is more than a wish, belief, hope, or dream. It is a knowing, a certainty, due to the fifth dimensional thinker's paradigm. The fifth dimensional thinker becomes aware during the grieving process that fear-based emotion and love-based emotion can be perceived as existing simultaneously within. For the grieving fifth dimensional thinker experiences the joy of the passing and offers energetic support to that transition, even whilst anger, disbelief, loss, and separation may be experienced. The fear-love spectrum begins to merge within the individual's energy system, and multidimensionality is profoundly experienced. This dual perspective, triggered within fourth and fifth dimensional thinkers, is the energetic presentation of bilocation, trilocation, and multilocation. Humanity, within a third dimensional planetary system, experiences this energetically as a precursor to physical manifestation of multilocation. In a linear presentation, this begins with bilocation, the feeling of being in two places at once. From the higher perspective, feeling two seemingly opposing emotions simultaneously and being in two places simultaneously are the exact same presentations. The grieving process from a third dimensional perspective brings with it feelings of persecution from a higher consciousness point of view. One can feel that life is unfair, disappointing, and cruel, and that an individual must simply bear this fate as best as they can, and accept this darker and unknown aspect of reality. The grieving process from a fourth dimensional perspective can also bring these same feelings of persecution, or they can certainly be empathized with. Yet magical workings with the law of magnetic attraction and communication with individualized consciousness and spirit presentation assists in releasing persecution and feelings of finality, and transitionary states are understood. The dual perspective here is felt in a linear sense. So the fourth dimensional thinking individual moves from one state to another rather than embracing the perspectives simultaneously. The grieving process from a fifth dimensional perspective holds no feelings of persecution, as the fifth dimensional paradigm holds awareness of the creation of one's own reality, and this includes an expansive understanding and experience of the law of magnetic attraction workings. One understands about it being one's time to go, when one sees the quantum presentation of reality combined with an understanding of destiny and free will. For all individuals, regardless of state of expansion, the grieving process is indeed a process. Allowing energy flow throughout the matrix fields and auric bodies is the way forward for the balanced individual. Feelings of grief, when repressed, buried, or ignored, present as energy that is stuck or blocked within the individualized matrix. Those with eyes to see may view these stuck energetics and blockages as dark patches or holes, sharp piercings, or black clouds within the auric bodies. Those with ears to hear may perceive these stuck energetics and blockages as denser frequency, shrill, high-pitched tones, or crashing, rumbling, breaking, or banging sounds within the auric bodies. This presentation occurs with all fear-based emotion when repressed, buried, or ignored. However, when fear-based emotion such as grief is allowed to flow, as is the natural template for the organic human physical entity, the process is moved through and experienced. Emotion is felt explored, released, and integrated into the human vehicle holistically. When this occurs, the higher perspective is embraced and one walks a blueprinted reality, that which you know as fate or destiny. When flow occurs within the reality of the individual making the transition from the physical body, and is telepathically connected to the reality of the loved ones who remain within the physical incarnation, the events surrounding the transition of that individual appear to be guided, predestined, preordained, prearranged, blueprinted, and synchronistically unfolding. Individuals just happen to be in the right place at the right time, and signs, synchronicities, and messages from the loved one, the higher perspective, the spirit realms, or source perspective are profound. Those third dimensional individuals standing within balanced flow experience the fourth dimension at this point. Love allows them to reside there for quite some time, often for the rest of that incarnation, moving them into the next phase of their soul's journey. Those fourth dimensional individuals standing within balanced flow open to yet more confirmation of their paradigm, and the majority of feminine embracing individuals take the place of spirit or soul midwife, standing as the bridge between physical and non-physical incarnation, and consciously willing and creating this experience. Those fifth dimensional individuals standing within balanced flow remain in contact with the loved one who has transitioned at will, feeling that there is no separation, no ending, no death of consciousness from that perspective. The grieving process is often one of the most challenging emotional journeys for the incarnated physical human individual. The point of perspective that holds love, light, and joy, embracing the sacred geometric frequencies and patterns of source, and drawing down the golden light into their individualized matrix fields, are the perspectives that hold source perspective and indeed are source. All-knowing perspectives, regardless of organic physicality, animal, vegetation, mineral, water, or presentations within any kingdom upon third dimensional earth, all hold the ability to perceive from source perspective. Fear-based emotion and love-based emotion merge within a spectrum of experience, allowing conscious sun-aware self and subconscious moon, dreamtime shadow self to merge as one, within an integrated unity template. The grieving process is assisted by this template, allowing love, light and joy, grief, pain, loss and sorrow to merge within an integrated pattern, and holding the knowing that all separations are an equal partnership, an arrangement, predestined, prearranged, ultimately leading to the expansion and growth of the physical incarnated entity and the soul. From this point of view, the loved one transitioning into the non-physical spirit-soul aspect leaves the incarnated physical individual with a gift of perspective, understanding, unity, and ultimately expansion. Allow this grieving process to take its own twists and turns along the path it forges for itself, as the process itself is an individualized consciousness structure with awareness, with life, with purpose. Allow this grieving process to occur at your own pace and thoroughly explore each new feeling, each new emotion, each new frequency. Embrace the gifts that are presented within this journey, knowing that this is but one of many journeys, one of many processes. Integrating fear-based emotion and flowing love-based emotion shall carry you through the challenges of the grieving process. This process is assisted by the loved one that has transitioned, as many newly transitioned individuals are able to move into their new point of perspective with ease and assist where assistance is needed, remaining with the loved one in human physicality for the rest of their incarnation. And we, the aspect of you that resides within the sixth dimensions and beyond, offer assistance within the template of the guidance system of light. Future self to past self, higher self to physical self, spirit, soul, body to human body, assisting with the merge of all aspects of self as you continue onward with your journey into enlightenment, expansion, individualization, and integration. We are the white-winged collective consciousness of 9,